Hi, it's David here, CEO and founder of the Freedom Founders Mastermind community. Let's talk about misdiagnosis and misprescription. Now, I'm not talking about you necessarily because you're trained. Certainly, we have to learn as we go through school and training and having experience clinically to understand that we have to refine to the best of our ability our diagnostic skills. Because until we can diagnose the true problem, the issue that a patient's having, it's very unlikely we're going to give the right prescription for the treatment, whatever that might be. So we work hard on that, and we are very defined in understanding what we know and what protocols we can use. But what about when it comes to our patients? How often does a patient call or come in and they've got a chief complaint and they'll point to, "Doc, it's this tooth. I need this tooth out or something done with this tooth." And after your diagnosis, you find out, well, it's the adjacent tooth, or it could be the opposing tooth from the opposing arch, or a patient feels like they've got an upper tooth problem and they say, "Doc, I want this tooth out," and you find out that they've got a sinus infection. There's all kinds of issues that we know that people try to self-diagnose their own problems, and if they're not trained, then many times they misdiagnose, and therefore, if they were to do their own treatment, it would not be the outcome that they wanted. That's why they go to a professional. Same thing happens with your money. Now, there are a lot of professionals out there in the space today, financial advisors of all kinds, money managers, and their model and their expertise is in the financial markets and helping guide their respective clients with money management and retirement planning. I'm not saying that they're bad people and they're misdiagnosing. What I would say is they don't have a full breadth of the investment platform that they can offer to their clients. Why? Because they'll study in one area, traditionally financial markets. And as far as alternative investments, not an area of study, therefore not an area of expertise, therefore not an area offered to their clients. The other area I find where people often have problems with proper diagnosis in the financial realm is just not enough time in the market cycles. Most of the people who advise today in any financial capacity weren't around during the 60s and the 70s where we had stagflation, where we had the interest rates that went as high as 20%. Haven't been there. They've only known falling interest rates and massive federal stimulation that have kept the markets up. And their feeling is the Fed always comes to save the day. Well, you go back enough time in history and people who have been around realize that's not the case. So there's a lot of areas where misdiagnosis can occur. Again, nobody wanting to do that, but just a lack of experience or lack of exposure to enough markets to bring what a client truly really needs in allocating capital and reaching goals. What I find is many high income, relatively high net worth people who would like to find an exit path from their active income, at least the ability to slow down at some point and to know they can start to do that at a certain age, is that they've never been given an accurate diagnosis and therefore the prescription has been missing as well. How do I know that? Because people that are in their 50s and 60s are calling me and they have really very little to show for 20, 25, 30, 35, sometimes 40 years of working experience. Now, it's not all a financial advisor's fault at all. I'm not saying that. Maybe they didn't even work with one until the last few years. But then it becomes the problem that doctor, that high income, high specialized professional didn't know enough to really dig in and understand what he or she didn't know about finances, and therefore just followed the crowd, or thought they would have more time to catch up before their retirement age would come. What I found early in life was having a better understanding of finances, even though I took no formal study in college or thereafter. But just being in the realm of understanding tangible assets, which is what I love, which is where I feel like I have the best opportunity to navigate my capital, and I've actually done that and successfully left my active income from clinical practice almost 20 years ago now, when I was in my 40s. My ability to do that was because I was curious and I learned an additional skill set beyond my clinical skill set. I learned about finances. I learned about investing in tangible assets, more particularly alternatives like real estate. Now, it's not the only game in town, but it's one that works very well. And because of my experience in that realm, and because I was successful, not just for myself, but successful helping literally hundreds of other dentists and couples find their freedom path and to get there sooner, not later, it's what I love to do today. I don't work. I just have a passion for giving back. When you get to a point where finances don't really matter anymore, and it's not that I'm the wealthiest person in the world, heavens no, but where you've got enough and you know how to make that capital work, whether we're in a recession or an up market or a sideways market or whatever happens, that's when you can really love being who you are. That's where you find your real purpose and meaning. And that's what I love to see happen. That happens in Freedom Founders with our members, is they get past this point of uncertainty of how much is enough and where do I go from here, to actually understanding how to take their equity from wherever it is today and put it in a coordinated game plan that allows them to make the moves to their exit or their transition to more freedom in their life. That's what I love to do. So it comes back again to, are you diagnosing yourself correctly? Are you trying to self-diagnose, or might you want to work with somebody who has done it many, many times before and can at least give you the breadth and the scope of a different model than what the herd mentality goes for, which I believe is going to have a higher failure rate than we've ever seen before. It's always on ourselves to pick up and make decisions, but I will say this, if we keep doing what we've been doing, as successful as we might be in certain elements of our life, we're probably not going to get to where we really want to be just by working harder or longer, unless that's what people want to do. It's always up to us as individuals. You make the choice. It's always about your freedom. I hope I get a chance to talk to you soon.